Hello, I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm excited to get started on my next project. It is October, and I know technically I should be doing spooky stuff, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit and do something crime related. So I'm doing Sherlock Holmes. It's still creepy, right? Yeah, true crime is creepy. This is fictional crime, but it doesn't matter. We're going to blur the lines a little bit. This is my bag of Sherlock Holmes themed items. I've been gathering stuff for quite some time and I'm ready to get started on this project. So let's open it up and see what all I have for my Sherlock Holmes themed altered book junk journal. This is my book. I picked it up at a Half Price Books. It is a Reader's Digest compilation. So it has A Study in Scarlet and The Hound of the Baskervilles. So that is going to be our altered book. I've got a few stamp sets. Let me see. This one says Top Secret. There's a travel record, important, official records, other labels, and some sort of a photo label. This is mostly postal related items. This 5 came out of somewhere, I don't know. But I thought that it would be good in this project because there are a few of these labels that I think would work, like inspected, confidential, important, received, official business. That's a perfect one. I thought it would be fun to stamp some of these in our book. And then let's pull out all of the paper goodies that I've got here. Okay, a lot of this I got from Etsy. So this one I got from Cabot Cove Creations, and I kept this postcard because it says mystery solved. And so I was like, that is perfect. So I think, what did I get from Cabot Cove Creations? I believe that I got these guys. So it's all these little labels. And this one says the nature of official, signature of official taking fingerprints. And then it looks like just some establishing identity. So it's all these little labels, but it looks like they're from like mystery books. So that's pretty cool. And then it all came from this little envelope, which is also cool. I've got a book page. So this is Jessica Fletcher, Murder, She Wrote, and it's a date with murder. And I got that from that Cabot Cove Etsy store, but I kept it and put it with this stuff because it's, mystery. I also bought these evidence tags. So that is cool. And then this one here, so these are a bunch of die cuts, and I think that they're all like just black silhouette die cuts, but they're all Sherlock related. Yeah, see, look, and these are like really nice. So that would be Hound of the Baskervilles and the boxing. So yeah, look at those. And they're really, really intricate. Look at how fine that is. So I don't know if these are actually, I think these might be laser cuts. I think that's what these are. So all of these are just silhouettes. These will be fun to just splatter all throughout the journal. I am going to lose those, so I'm going to pop them back in here. This was also an Etsy purchase. And when I post this video, I'll put the shops that I purchased this stuff in. I'll put those in the description box so that if you wanted to check out any of these, you can. And then this is an Etsy purchase. I purchased hard copies, like the printables were shipped to me. It came like this. I did not print these. So again, we've got some evidence tags in varying sizes. Here's evidence and fingerprint identification, like logbooks that say case number, telegraph pages, report by the medical examiner, fingerprint identification, a couple of file folders, and this one's got some great fingerprints on it. And then the Scotland Yard, and you put suspect photo there, some anatomy, some mathematical equations. So this was printed out. So I think that this was more of a true crime rather than a Sherlock. So I think it was just like kind of crime related stuff. Okay, and then I already had this on hand. This is by Hannah Digital Art Shop on Etsy. And these are my printables. This was what kicked off the entire Sherlock theme. So I got these printables from her shop, and I will link that as well. But here they are. And these come digital, so you will have to print these. but I'm ready to go. Some book page. And then a couple of the book covers. Some fussy cuts. You know how I love a fussy cut. Yay. A Scandal in Bohemia, another book cover. And then a great profile. And then look at that. Sherlock Holmes. That's fantastic. Okay, and one of the reasons that I'm getting started on this right now, honestly, is because I'm taking a trip to Scotland, and I believe by the time these roll out, these videos for this journal, I'll probably be in the UK when these videos come out. So that'll be fun. My cousin is getting married and we're flying into Edinburgh. We'll be there for 3 days, and then we drive down to London, and we'll be there for a while. We'll be seeing the countryside and everything, so we're pretty excited about that. It would be my love and my sister, and it's going to be a fantastic time. This is my first trip to the UK. This is actually my first trip out of the US, with the exception of several trips, you know, to Mexico, Cancun, Mexico City, Puerto Vallarta, things like that. So anyhow, we're really excited about this, ready to go. And so I thought, I'm already kind of feeling the UK vibe, so let's do the Sherlock Holmes journal, right? That makes sense. So these are in my stash, and these are from a shop, an Etsy shop called Fay Papery. And these are printed on rag paper, and it looks like they're etchings, so you can see all the little lines and details. But anyhow, I pulled this out just because I wasn't sure if any of these pictures might fit with the whole Victorian vibe, that I could just, you know, use them. So anyway, I pulled them aside because I thought maybe I'll be able to use something like that. I think that one would be a good one. That would probably be a good picture too. So I don't know. It was just extras. I like to put in a little extra stuff. So anyway, that was from Fay Papery. And then to go along with the whole travel theme, I could not find where I purchased this. I know it was an Etsy purchase, but I could not find the shop. I've had several Etsy accounts and I couldn't retrieve all of them, and some of them unfortunately were on my old Etsy account. I've done a lot of Google image searches and I just can't locate some of these. So anyhow, if you recognize it, let me know, but these were just some passports. I thought that a couple of these might be nice in the journal. So that is it, I think. Oh, wait, nope. I also have some more ephemera. I pulled this out of my Anna Griffin stash because I have this whole stash and it's just masculine themed kind of stuff. And I thought these would be cool. So this is a whole thing on pipes. Look at these little glasses. And I thought some of these might be cool to use. That's sports. I don't know that they had cars. Maybe towards the end. Phonograph would be cool. A mustache, that's always cool. So anyway, I thought that I would go ahead and use these guys just in case some of this stuff fit with the whole theme. So I pulled it out. I'm not going to go through all of it, but again, it's like flasks and watches and corkscrews and mustaches. All the manly stuff, right? So I don't know. I thought maybe a couple of these I would be able to pull them out and I could use them in this collection. Look at this. This is English literature. That would go. That would look good. Look at this little attaché. Yeah. So there we go. Oh, wait a second. Look. Perfect. So anyway, I have this off to the side as well. So let me clear all this off and then we will work on prepping our book. All right, my tools for altered book prep, my book weight, just in case I need it, lots of paper clips, an X-Acto blade if I need it, and a pencil just in case I need to make some notes. So let's get started. This book is, it looks like it is a glued in book. Yep. It is a glued in book. So that's fine. There are a couple of types of books. There's the glue-in books, and then there's the stitched in. So you'd have the actual individual signatures, and the process for removing pages on those books is different. So on this one, this is a glue-in. This is the process that we are going to go through. This is also probably fairly new. I don't think that it's been opened much. So we're going to go ahead and take a moment. If you have a newer book or a book that hasn't, even if it's older, maybe it hasn't been opened as much or as frequently, and it's a little stiff, start in the center and just go ahead and kind of work it a little bit. We are going to remove a lot of these pages, so there will be a lot of room, but we kind of want it to start loosening up that spine a little bit. So there we go. This is called the book block right here. And if I wanted to just use the cover, I would detach the book block right here where this red paper is, right in this seam. I would just take my X-Acto blade and I would slice it right down this length, and then on this side, straight down this edge, and then I would separate the entire book block. That is not what we're going to do. I want to make sure that the book block itself is going to stay attached to the cover. So let me go ahead and get some of my paper clips ready here. And I'm going to save the first few pages. These right here are not going to be removed, and these are actually glued together. So we're going to keep those together. I'm going to save this page. I always like to save the first few. I like to kind of work my way in. I'm going to save this, A Study in Scarlet. I'm going to save that. I'll save that. And then we're starting here. I think I'm going to save this entire section. Later, I can always come back and remove some of these pages right here towards the end if I want to, but right now I'm going to leave those. Now I'm going to go to the back. We're going to make sure this stays. This page and this page are glued together, so these are definitely staying, and this is what's holding this book block in, so we don't want to remove those. I'll keep this page and this page. You know what? I'm going to keep that with the afterword. Okay, I think that's enough on this end. I don't need to keep as many on the back end because they're just not as pretty. These were all for aesthetic reasons. This is also for an aesthetic reason. Sometimes in these old books, you do have like nice illustrations. And if you wanted to keep the illustrations in the book, you might want to go through and paper clip or flag the illustrations so that as you're tearing pages, you're aware when you're coming close to an illustration. I don't mind if I end up tearing these illustrations out so that I'm not going to go in and mark them because I can always add them back into the book. Okay, so this is how we are going to start. I'm keeping this page, but I'm going to start this way. So I'm going to keep the first page, and then I'm going to remove 7. And I'm going to try ripping these. If the tearing doesn't work, then I can go to my X-Acto blade and I can start slicing them. You have to be really careful though that you don't cut too deep and then you end up removing more pages than you intended. If they're coming out easily though with you tearing them, then that's the method I would go with. So we're going to remove 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you have all of this torn edge in here, but we're going to glue these together and it's going to hide all of that in the middle. So we'll either glue them together or we'll make pockets out of them. Everything in the middle is going to be hidden. Okay, so then we're going to keep this page and remove 7. That's 5, 6, and 7. All right. So this is my next grouping. I'm going to go ahead and paper clip those guys. I'm going to hold on to this and remove 7 more. Look at that. That is a really creepy picture. 3, 4. This is the 7th. We're going to be about an hour outside of Edinburgh for most of the weekend, and then we're going to spend an overnight in Edinburgh, but we're probably going to so we're not going to be doing a whole lot there, but we will be like in the city. And so if anyone is in that area and knows of any great shops for ephemera that I might want to visit, or even any craft shops or paper shops that I might want to stop by, let me know. If I have any UK viewers or people who have visited the UK and have some tips for ephemera collecting. So we do plan on driving to London, and we're going to take, because honestly, what I really want to see is the countryside. I mean, that's really, we can go to London, we can see the sights, we're going to do all that, but it's really the countryside. So when we decided to do this, we decided to drive. We are going to be doing some trips outside of London. We're doing a day trip out to Bath and Stonehenge, and probably going to try to see the Cotswolds. So if anyone is aware of any places that I should stop in that area, let me know. But when we drive down, we're actually driving down on the west coast to London. So that's our route. We'll probably stop somewhere in York. It was 3. Was that 3? I'm talking. My yapper is yapping, and I lost count. That was 4, 5. See? 6 and 7. So if any of you are aware, let me know. I would be happy to stop. Okay, at this point, let me see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 on this end already. I'm going to keep going the same, or moving every 7. So I'm going to speed the rest of this up so that you don't have to just sit here and watch me tear pages. You can watch it in fast motion. Okay, that went relatively quickly, honestly, and look at how much we removed from that book. That is a lot of book page. I will probably pull out like most of these images and find a way to use the images in the actual book or in some of the ephemera. And then the rest of these book pages, I'll also work into ephemera and whatnot. And then some of it I'll just set aside and I'll have it to use to add to other junk journals or to make ephemera with down the road if I need some extra book page. So all of this will get used. None of this is going to be tossed. I know that this looks like a lot. Let's see what the book looks like, okay? So this is what we have left. And we have got, let me see, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got a single page, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, another single page, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've got 15 actual pages front and back that I can make pockets with. And then I have 2 single sheets worked in there. And the reason I did that was honestly just a planning type thing, because when I got to this right here, I knew that this was my first page and then I was going to have to rip this out, and I could have, but I actually liked the look of those 2 images right there. So, and I know that this is visible, but I'll figure out some way to fold this over maybe and make a like a short pocket or make something in here so that these images, this will be the back and this, I'll form a pocket on this side. And then this will be the back side of it, and I'll form a pocket like on this side. So those were just aesthetic reasons. So I've got 15 pages that I'll be able to decorate. I've got 2 single pages, and then I have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages up front, which I can reduce. And then when I got down to the end here, I had 4 pages that I tore out in the middle. And then I looked at the rest of this, and I only really needed these 2 right here that were glued together on the back end. So I thought, you know what, that bit that I left, those extra sheets back here, if I tore them out in the center, I would get exactly 7 and this would still work. So I went ahead and did that. So these sheets will probably end up just getting like glued together to form one signature, and it'll be nice and strong. And then this, I'll probably end up breaking up and making 2 signatures, maybe some pockets into these. So I know that it looks like that there's a lot missing and now we don't have much room. Oh no, where are we going to put everything? But believe me, this is going to end up being a really big book. And by the end of it, I might be wondering why I didn't take out more pages than I did. And it always happens. I know that this stage in the whole process looks a little bit scary because you're like, we removed all of this, but we removed all of that so that we can then add in all of our goodies. And believe me, it's going to bulk it up very quickly. And then I promise at some point I will say, why do I still have pages to decorate? I promise you. So one thing that I did not do, and I think we're good, but I did not actually kind of measure these out and make sure that these were going to fit nicely on these pages. I thought that I was going to be okay. Yeah, I'm totally fine. These are going to fit so beautifully. I did single-sided printing, but these are going to fit perfectly on these pages. This is the perfect size. For this, I'm excited. This is going to look absolutely fantastic. How exciting. Okay, so if you have not done an altered book or you haven't done one in a while, pull out a book and let's do this together. Yours can be any theme that you want, but let's do something together because this is a lot of fun. So this is it for this video. I'm going to call it quits here. We did quite a bit. That was a lot of info. And plus, this is going to give you some time to pull out your book and to go ahead and start altering so that we can do something together, because this is going to be really, really cool. I love altered books, and I have not done a glued in, true altered book in a while. It's been a minute. So I'm excited to do this. In the next video, we'll go through and we'll plan out our pages and we'll decide where we're going to make our pockets. If we're going to do like top pockets, side pockets, if we're going to do fold over pockets, you know, what that's going to look like exactly. But we'll go in and we'll plan that. We'll start kind of organizing our pages in the next video. How exciting. All right, go ahead and leave any questions or comments that you have down in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply to them. I may have some delayed responses, but I will respond. Thanks for spending some time with me, and until next time.